Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I help freelancers, agencies, and consultants land clients. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, but it is just as important as all of the LinkedIn and cold emailing and lead generation advice that I provide. So I really hope you're going to stick around. First, we're going to have a little chat, and then we'll loop back around with some tips and suggestions for how you can move forward in a better way. First, I want to read you a short clip from an article that was published in Wired in June of 2021. I'm putting the link in the description below. I strongly suggest you read the entire thing, but here's one highlight, and I'm reading off my computer right here. A landmark study by the World Health Organization and the International Labor Organization published earlier this month found that 745,000 people died in 2016 from stroke and ischemic heart disease as a direct result of having worked at least 55 hours a week. So that was just one gem from this article, which actually largely focused on the issue of severe overwork in Japan. In fact, it's so prevalent that they actually have a word for it, karoshi, which translates, according to this article, to death by overwork. People actually drop dead from heart failure or stroke, or they take their own lives because they work too much. Obviously, I can't speak for every country. I won't speak for Japan. I got this from an article. There are a lot of articles about this. If you are in another country, I would love for you to chime in the comments and tell me what this looks like where you live. I can't speak for the culture here in the US. When did we decide that working ourselves to the point of exhaustion and burnout and illness was a marker of success, of importance? Busy has become something to brag about. Oh, I'm so busy, I don't even have time to think. That's not a good thing. We've all been sold this idea that in order to be successful, in order to make a lot of money, you have to be willing to sacrifice everything. Your health, your happiness, your relationships. That's what a real business owner does. We tie our sense of value, of self-worth, to how much we're willing to kill ourselves for work. And it's all a load of Many of you watching this are business owners of some sort. So freelancers, consultants, coaches, agencies, fill in the blank. And I would be willing to bet that a lot of you are under the impression that in order to grow your business, the answer is simple: work more, more, more. I used to be the same, and it's still an urge that I have to fight to this day. Yes, some days you might have to work a little bit late. Yes, you're going to have the occasional weekend where you need to respond to an email or something like that. But those should be the exception to the rule, not the rule. The quickest route to failure is to overwork yourself as a business owner. To be a successful business owner, you have to know how to prioritize your responsibilities, how to manage your time, how to delegate. You have to know what isn't important and what to eliminate. That's something that I talked about in this video on Essentialism, which is a great book. That link is below. Tell me, how impactful do you think that you as a business owner can be if you are stressed to the max, fed up, exhausted, and miserable? Not very. Being so busy that you don't have time for anything but work doesn't mean you are more successful or important or ahead of the game. All it means is that you either don't know how to manage your time better or you don't want to manage your time better. Saying yes to everything and everyone doesn't mean you are any smarter or, more generous of a business owner. It only means that you don't know how to prioritize what's important and shelve the rest. All of this is so hard partly because on a regular basis, we are bombarded by images of entrepreneurs and gurus with huge houses and fancy cars and expensive watches. At least half of those people, by the way, rent those things for the sake of those photo shoots. Those are not their belongings. You can have all those things if you want. This video isn't about knocking the material things in life. But regardless, if you think you're going to get there purely by working 80 hours a week, you're not. It might sound a little bit corny, but it is true. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You are the cup. If you are empty, you have nothing to give. Everything I share with you on this channel comes from personal experience, and this one is no different. I tried working myself to the bone. In fact, I have said many times in my life, if I could forego sleep entirely and just work nonstop, I would. Guess what? This doesn't work. Furthermore, I am perpetually tired from years of overworking and undersleeping. I am never rested, ever. It doesn't matter what I do. I am tired every single day of my life. I fall asleep at my computer quite regularly. This is a result of bad habits, okay? This is not normal. All right, so I've done a lot of complaining in this video. Now what's the solution? If I could go back in time, here are several things I would have done differently. I would have started them much sooner. Number one, wake up later. I see this a lot on TikTok specifically, where people are like, oh, I get up at 5 a.m., get my workout in, get my 10,000 steps in. All right, you do you, boo, but a lot of us can't get up at 5 a.m. But that didn't stop me from trying. Up until recently, it's embarrassing, the first of my 3 alarms would go off around 5:30. Why? So I had more time to work. But that didn't mean that my work day would end any earlier. I would still work until 5:30. Why? So I could get more work in. I didn't want to lose time. Unless you actually thrive off of very early mornings, which I know some people do, but if you don't, if you try it and you feel like you are going against your nature, going against your body, stop doing it. That's your body telling you, I don't like this. As uncomfortable as it is for me, and it is very uncomfortable, I finally gave up on the 5 a.m. mornings, and these days I have an alarm that goes off around 7, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes later, and sometimes I just wake up on my own even before my alarm goes off. But the point is, I do not force myself to get up at 5 or 5:30, which I now understand that for me is ridiculous. It's really hard to break that habit. In fact, just this morning, I ended up having a very busy morning. I don't even know why, but I did. And by the time I really got going on my work, it was 8:30. And I was like, oh my God, it's so late, it's so late, it's so late. And I had to tell myself, calm down, you loon. It's fine. You're not losing time. You are putting yourself in a position to use the time that you have more productively and more efficiently, because you're going to feel better because you slept more. And number 2, have a clear stop time for your workday. 5 p.m., 4:30 p.m., whatever. Have a set time that your business closes and you clock out, even if you work from home. Clocking out means you stop responding to emails, you stop answering your phone, you stop submitting assignments, you're done. Working from home is tricky because you never really leave the office. And you have to be careful with this, because if you're not, then you just end up working all the time because your office is always right there. So having that clear stop time, saying to yourself, my business closes at 5 p.m. Close your computer, leave the office, turn off the lights, close the door. You're done. But you have to set that boundary for yourself, because nobody's going to set it for you. And it's going to feel really easy at first, working late, but I'm telling you this because I made this mistake for years. This is going to come back and bite you. Number 3, nights and weekends, outside of those business hours. No email, no work, no phone calls, no nothing. Clients will reach out to you outside of your business hours, but guess what? 99.9999999% of the time, it's nothing urgent. Nobody's dying, nobody's on fire, nobody is bleeding from the ears. It can wait until Monday. You have to have that chance to unplug, or you are constantly working. Number 4, delegate. If you have your set work schedule and you're doing a really good job about working 9 to 5 or whatever, and you notice that you still have a ton left over, like work legitimately isn't getting done on time, guess what? It might be time to hire somebody. Yay! Look at your daily responsibilities. Go through each one at a time. And I want you to ask yourself, do I have to do this? Does it have to be me? A lot of the time, the answer is going to be no. So pass it off to someone else on your team. If you don't have someone else, go hire someone. If you have questions about hiring, drop them in the comment and I'll help you. Number 5, all of these tips are important, but this one, make time for things that have nothing to do with work. I love to read. It's one of my favorite pastimes. And for a long time, the only thing I would read, it would be either business books or like self-help books, money management books, stuff related to business. And the reason for that was because if I wasn't using my downtime to be productive, I felt guilty. I felt like I was wasting time. No, unplug from work. Make time for things that have absolutely nothing to do with your business. And then when you do go back to your computer, you're going to be so much more refreshed and creative and energized. So that's kind of like the really nice byproduct. That's the cherry on top of doing things that have nothing to do with work. When you do get back to work, you're going to produce better work because you're going to be happier. Number 6, this is important. They're all important. Figure out what success means to you. A lot of coaches and gurus and course creators out there tie it to the dollar amount. Everything is about hitting 5 figures a month or 6 figures a month or whatever. And I'm guilty of that as well for a long time. And I think there's still some language on my site about this. I was all about helping people build their 6-figure empire. 6 figures a year is nice, but not everybody cares about that. Money is nice. For a very long time, I was purely motivated by money. This backfired. Money can't be the sole motivator. It's not enough. These days, I am still partly motivated by money. I love money. I love making money. Money loves me. Go watch this video. I'm manifesting money. It's going to make your life easier. But I also understand that money does not make up for happiness. Now, I will say this. I make money. I make a lot of money. It does make life easier. If I need to get my car fixed, or if Peanut, my dog, needs a random vet visit, which happens, I don't have to worry anymore about how I'm going to pay for those things. And I used to have to worry a lot because I had no money. I was broke. So money does make life easier. It gives you more control and more choices and more freedom. But guess what? If you have a miserable day at work, if you are so unhappy at work, the money isn't going to make up for it. In fact, here's an example. I've talked before about how much I dislike unnecessary Zoom calls, which in my opinion, the majority of these calls are unnecessary. And Otto, my husband, he said to me one time, invoice for these calls. And I'm like, bro, I don't care. Keep your money. I want my time back. I would rather have the time than the money. You can always find more money. There's always money to be made. You cannot get your time back. That's why I'm always telling you guys, time is your most precious asset. It's your most valuable resource. Once it's gone, it's gone. You never get it back. So you really have to think about what matters to you most. Family, friends, health, travel, fitness. You better make time for them because nobody's going to do it for you. And all the money in the world isn't going to give you the time for the things that matter if all you're doing all day is working. And I can reassure you with 100% confidence, you can still make as much money as you want without killing yourself at work. It is possible to have both. At least in the US, people are going to make you believe that you can't have both. You can. You can. And that's something that I'm always telling my students, and it has driven literally every single step that I included in my program, Revenue Spark. I'm always talking about getting people out of the hustle culture. And that's because it's not sustainable. A lot of programs that are comparable to mine, they're talking about buying email lists and sending thousands of cold emails from 10 different accounts and setting up complicated funnels and paid ads and da-da-da. And some of this stuff does work. I'm not trying to say it doesn't work. But the thing is, what kind of life do you want to have? That is as important as how much money you want to make. So when I was building my program, I went through every single lesson and I said, is this absolutely vital in order for my students to go out and land clients? And if it wasn't, I removed it. They don't need it. Why work any harder than you need to reach your goals? So my goal has always been to help people build businesses that are efficient and sustainable, things they can manage long-term on their own terms, whether they want to make $20,000 a month or $2,000 a month. Okay, so as you're going about building your business, think about the mistakes I've shared with you that I've made. Think about the tips that I gave you, things that I would do different. And you really got to get a handle on your workday. It's not easy, but it's simple. Stop work at 5 p.m. because that's it. I am stopping at 5 p.m. because I'm done. I don't have to justify it. I don't have to feel guilty about it. You get enough done every day. You are doing enough. You are moving fast enough. You are accomplishing enough. Overworking yourself is going to backfire. Like I mentioned a moment ago, I am all about building a business on your own terms and building a business that can last. You don't want your business to be a flash in the pan where you have like a $20,000 month and then your business just dies. That's not going to build you the future that you want. So I really encourage you to kind of reverse engineer this whole process, okay? Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? What does that look like? And then put a dollar amount on it. Say, okay, to have this lifestyle, how much money do I need each month? And then keep reverse engineering it. Okay, if I need $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever, how many clients do I need and what am I going to charge each of them? And just keep working backwards, okay? And remember, there is nothing wrong with not caring about being rich. There is nothing wrong with your job just being a job. There's nothing wrong with not having your career be your life. You were given this life to live it and to live it on your terms. So that means doing the things that bring you joy, okay? Again, I know this video was a little bit different, but this stuff is as important as everything else we talk about on this channel. And it's something over the years that I've become even more adamant about, because for years and years and years, I just kept going against nature, kept going against what my body was telling me. There was one point when I was working 2 full-time jobs. I would go to an office from like 7:30, 8 a.m., work until around 4. And then I would go straight to my performing job. This was when I was still performing on the Strip here in Vegas. And I would work and I would get home. And by the time I took off my stage makeup, it was usually somewhere around like 2:30 or 3 o'clock. I'd sleep for a few hours, get up and do it all over again. What a mistake. It doesn't work. Fun times, but it was brutal. It was really hard. If you need help growing your business and you are ready to, I almost want to say, slow down a little bit and kind of get out of the rat race, get out of hustle culture, and build a business on your terms, if I can help, I want to. So I'm going to drop the link below to my program, Revenue Spark. You can go there and see the curriculum. You can read a few testimonials and just learn more about it. And if you would like to speak more about possibly enrolling, you can book a call and you will chat with me directly. However you decide to move forward from here, please just remember that you were given this life to be happy. And you can have the money and the success that you want and also feel amazing. All right? If you're still watching, Thanks for hanging out with me, and please help support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. If you have any questions or feedback, I'm always here for you. Just drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.